Monday. It's 6:15. I'll wait just for a moment, see how we get everyone scrolling on and in. You won't need too much, perhaps just your blocks and even a bolster. But if you're in a room that might have some little bits of extras, for example, excuse me for moving around, but like for example, if I've got my pillows or something along those lines, they could be helpful for propping in some of the yin practice that we do. This is how tonight's class will flow. Pardon me, I've called it a Yin Yang Yoga. We have done this style before. What we tended to do, and there's all different ways that you could teach it. It has been in the past, for example, you might do a whole heap of yang, so yang being the energy, the fiery kind of part of it first, and then the back end of the class is the yin practice, the slowing down kind of practice. But today I thought I would intermingle the two, primarily because I think the weather might be conducive to us at least getting warm and then sort of sitting in that warmth in a yin pose and then warming again and then sitting back into a yin pose. It will focus around sun salutation, so that's where the heat and the energy is going to come from. And then obviously there will be an appropriate yin pose that goes with it. It has this little sort of flow that will go with it. Sit wherever feels comfortable, if it's on your bolster or on your blocks, for just a few minutes of breath work. We'll definitely warm up as per usual, and then I'll send us into a bit of a flow. If you're cold, which does not surprise me at all today, keep those little extra bits of warmth on, e.g. socks or jackets. You'll probably find that you'll get rid of them relatively quickly though as we start to warm and then heat up. Breath work will just be a simple connecting in with the breath, and then we'll start to move pretty quickly thereafter. Start here by letting the hands come and rest here in your lap. Allow your head to relax and to soften. Chin drops towards the chest and the back of the neck just gently lengthens. And then just begin to notice how we can slow the breath down. Naturally as it comes in and out through the nose. And then we want to perhaps observe the breath's qualities. So can we make the breath nice and smooth and steady? Are we mindful of the breath not rushing in quickly at the beginning? And not only mindful of the speed of the breath on the inhale, but definitely also on the exhale. We're aware that the breath just doesn't sort of rush out, but this is gentle guiding of the breath out on the exhalation. We also notice that on the inhalation, we fill the lungs to their capacity. And on the exhale, we empty the lungs fully and completely. We empty and we let go of all of the breath. We might notice the rise and fall coming into the chest and the belly. We might also notice the body becoming a little more calm and I guess sedated, just simply because of the slowness that we can bring to our breathing. When breath softens us, it begins to relax us. It's also what we call our anchor. It's that mechanism that we always can come back to in order to find that ability to draw or to look inwards, to feel how we are, how we're going, how does the body feel. This is very important as we come towards that yin part of this practice, where we will sit and be in silence so that we can hear all of the goings on in our body. Let's keep this natural flow to the breath, this beautiful length and quality to the breath as we perhaps slowly move the fingers and the toes, just get a little bit of movement and energy back into them. Open the eyes softly, and as we prepare to go into practice, remove any props that you might have had helping you or supporting you. Now you've got them to come back to. We start off on all fours. We begin with cat-cow. Cat-cow being hands underneath our shoulders and knees stacked directly under our hips. Curl up as we exhale, rounding the back, chin to chest and belly drawing up and in. And then float the other way on the inhale. Softly let the chest lift and the tail extend. Good, let's go again. Cat, breathing out. Cow pose, breathing in. And just warming up the spine, getting that movement. Starting the flow. We'll just take one more as we get that back body warmed up and spine moving. And then we'll just reset the back. Let it be a flat back, or what we know as a neutral back. We work into high child's. We tend to need to walk the hands a little further away from us so that we don't sit or naturally sit back into the heels. This is to start to open the chest and the shoulders. We still stretch the spine back because we still want to notice that this pose gives us the opportunity of lengthening all down through the back. Or what we call erector spinae muscles when you've done that length of the back, but we, at the same time, this dropping through the arms opens up the chest. It's a nice way just to prepare those shoulder girdles. You can see it, it's almost like a little half down dog in a sense. It's a nice way to prep down dog. Or it's a really good modification for down dog. When you're ready, bring the hands back in so they sit directly underneath the shoulders. We'll work into threading the needle. This is starting to get us some rotation. Let's inhale to open. Exhale to thread underneath. We'll do a few moving ones just to get us going. We want to get warm. Inhale and thread and tuck. Exhale, tuck on under and twist. We open. On that breath in, we thread and we tuck on the breath out. Good, one more. And we get to hold this one. Palm will face down this time around. Yeah. Glue that hand down towards the floor. And we're going to pull the shoulder away from it. That left shoulder gets to pull away from the left hand. And that's where we start to feel it happen. So we start to notice the back of that left shoulder blade begin to release and to open up. So again, really good prep stretches for down dog, any of the arms or any of the arm driven work, things like plank as well. Now we're going to stay here and lower the head and the shoulder down to the floor. If we need to, we might bring the block or the bolster definitely in from here. If the right shoulder allows you, you could open or unfold it up towards the ceiling. Otherwise, definitely you can leave it there onto the floor. Now what we'll do it or it can wrap around our back. We're going to activate this right side now and prep some of the hamstrings. So this right leg is going to send itself out here to the side, so almost parallel, and you can walk it, so it does this little waddle around. It walks out around near this this left hand here. So I can bring my right hand down to hold it. It could be any part of that leg. And we're just going to get a little bit more length down through the back of the leg, because it's just sort of prepping the hamstrings. Pardon me. So this is a bit of a left shoulder opening and a bit of a leg release too. When we come out, right hand returns back to the floor. I get a little slide back with that right leg. As we come up, I'll let the right heel press back and away, a nice way to open up. Pardon me. Through the calf and the hamstring. I swallowed the wrong way. All right. So really digging back into that calf and opening up. Literally, you can feel it from the back of the kneecap down towards the Achilles tendon, the heel. Now, if we bring the two legs together, we take the same opening on the other side, and it would be our right arm opening up with the threading of the needle underneath that left arm. So thread and tuck. Again, open on the inhale. Thread and tuck under, breathing it out. Rotating. And then threading. Now we're going to make this one our next one, our last one. That's the stop and the release and the hold. Palm will go down. Right shoulder pulls back. So it's as though my right shoulder is trying to pull back to the right edge of the mat. Then I get that lowering down, so perhaps head and shoulder could go down. Left arm might go up or goes around. Just again to start opening up the side of this left side, this left shoulder, and this left chest. And then to open up this left hip and the glute, we get that little walk around. Our left hand could hold on to the leg. We press out through that left leg, that left heel. Good. Now bringing ourselves to balance, left hand goes back onto the floor, walk back the left leg. As we prop on up, there we have our left-legged hamstring stretch and calf. So really digging back into the calf now. So that was a very subtle stretch over the glutes and I guess a minor part of the hamstrings. I would like to stretch them a little bit more though. With this left leg that's out the back, I'm going to bring it through the front, heel down, toes are up. We could definitely bring blocks in if we wanted to not sort of feel like we're straining the neck or the shoulders. So soft neck and head, chest heavy, down towards the thigh. And here we want to imagine that we can pull this left heel back towards us, as though we're pulling our left glute, our left bottom back to the end of the mat. Okay, this is a very sort of deep hamstring stretch, particularly as we go low, particularly as we let the body fall down onto the thigh more. Good. Now as we come out of it, definitely bend into the knee, just soften out that hamstring, lift the chest up. We get to prep to go over to the other side. Now if we bring just the heel onto the floor and we pull the toes back, we'll also get some calf into the stretch here as well. Definitely optional. Right hip draws back to the wall, chest heavy onto that thigh. Remember, we want to be more inclined of dropping the chest onto the thigh than say the head to the thigh. The very reason is that means we're just rounding our back as opposed to instigating this action from the hamstrings. Again, if you don't need the blocks, that's perfectly fine. You can definitely leave those hands there onto the floor. Now, again, I've got that idea of pulling back, so imagining I can sort of scrunch the mat. My right hip pulls back to the wall behind, or I have that idea of me pulling the heel towards the inwards towards me to scrunch up this mat. As I come out, just a gentle bend into the knee so I don't strain. Let's send both legs back, and we're going to find down facing dog from here. Just slowly unfold, unravel, no rush. Those hands are shoulder width apart, thinking that when we take our down dog pose, we've got strong arms. Our hands do those jam jar hands where we turn the hands inwards, but the upper arms, they tuck under. So that we've got the arms literally moving in different directions, hands turning inwards. Yeah. And watching that those arms don't spray out. We tuck the arms back in. Raise up onto the balls of the feet, and in your own time, just walk the heels up and down. And that last sort of final movement into warming up these back legs, the back of the body. Good, we've got one more in each of the legs. And then those heels equally weight themselves downwards towards the floor. If we take the head to look forward, we're eventually going to get into a full standing position. Step the left and then that right leg. We're here towards that front part of the mat. And in your own time, just nice, slow, nice and steady, we come up to rise. Hands will come up. And then when you're ready, down here to meet us into the heart center. All right. So this is where some of those sun salutations are going to start. What we'll do is we're going to work through 2 rounds of sun salutations, and then we're going to drop into a yin pose. So when we go into a yin practice, I will keep an eye on the time for you, and I'll let you know. Usually we spend anywhere between 3 and say 5 minutes in a yin held pose. Come with me as we head more towards this front part of our mat. Actually, I might go this way. It might give me a bit more room. As we breathe in, the arms will float upwards towards the ceiling. You can look up at them if they feel comfortable. When we breathe out, the hands come down to the heart and then down into what we call a forward fold. We want to step the left leg back. This is what I call a low lunge. Always mindful that in a low lunge, knee and ankle, they stay directly stacked over the top of one another. From this low lunge, it takes us straight back into a plank where we pull up and into the belly so we don't collapse in our back. Then we go to knee plank. Okay. Then we go chin to the floor, and once that chin's hit the floor, then we continue to transition into cobra. Okay. We always remember they're 2 separate poses. Coming into down dog just by pressing through the hands, you can definitely come to the knees. Toes go under, push up and press back into that down dog. Now we step to the left leg back. Therefore, we're going to step the left leg forward, look at the hands, and step Again, another low lunge, but on the other leg. Again, nice low hips, conscious that we're getting this little starter stretch into this hip flexor. Prepare to bring the right leg to meet the left, and we're already up and ready to rise again. And as we head back down on the next breath out, it should be our right leg leading us back behind. Good. Step back the left leg. There we go. We're now in that plank pose. Back to knees onto the floor and not collapsing that back. So this is knee plank, means abs are in. Chin down. Follow through. There's your cobra. And with the breath out, it sends us back into down dog. Use the arms up and back. Right leg now needs to step us forward, so look at the hands and step through. Stay there for the low lunge, don't rush your way through. Bringing the left leg to meet the right leg, and again we bring ourselves slowly up into full standing. Good. Exhale, hands to heart center. One round. Leading with the same leg back and forward, and then on the other side, back and forward. Let's take another round together, breathing in. Good, off we go. Exhale, straight down. Again, lead with the left leg, so soft knees, nice big spongy step back here. Take the right to meet the left. Engage the core, hold tight, soften the knees. Okay, down goes the chin, continue. Slow and steady moves us into cobra. There's that little bit of back work there. Push up and press back. We find ourselves in down dog, and this is the way that we're able to get the left foot forward. Look forward, step forward. Drop the hips, push off, right meets left, rise on the inhale, good, hang over on the exhale and lead back with that right leg, good, the left then follows, engage the core straight away, belly up and in, then it's knees, chin goes down, come and follow through, exhale down dog, push, press it back. Drop through those heels to stretch those legs. Look forward, right leg steps through. Good. Take a breath in. 2 feet come together, breathing out. Rise on the inhale. Good, hands to heart, exhale. We're just going to do one more together so we get the breath, okay? Because next time around we won't be so pedantic about the teaching. Rise on the inhale with those arms. Good, there's your exhale as you fold forward. One breath, one movement. Inhale, left leg steps back. Exhale, right leg. Inhale, knees. Exhale, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left forward. Exhale, right leg forward. Keep those knees bent. Yep. Inhale, rise. Continue on the exhale to fold forward. Inhale, right leg goes back. Exhale, left leg. Breathe in, knees. Breathe out, chin. Breathe in, cobra. Breathe out, down dog. Breathe in, right foot forward. Breathe out, left foot forward. And we're there. Breathe in. Hands to heart. Breathe it out. Alrighty. Should have got us a little warmer. Should have elevated the heart rate too. As we go into our first yin practice, it literally comes straight from this. And this is how I've incorporated all the poses, all our yin poses. Inhale. Fold forward. Exhale. And this is where you're staying. Now, you let the head go heavy and loose. If you need something for hands, I'm definitely got bent legs, okay? And this is still to give me this beautiful stretch in the back, still some hamstring stretch, but I'm not hanging on those hamstrings. So relax the neck. My hands are here if I need some support. Otherwise, you might even hold on to the tips of the 2 elbows and do the same. Let your head hang and dangle between your arms. Now, you want to breathe for me into this one. You want to relax the body. And you might even, as you sit in it, allow the head to perhaps softly nod forward and back. This is not a rushed action, but if you think, you know what, I wouldn't mind just sitting here Just loosening up that neck a little bit. Okay, it doesn't have to be this perfect, nodding yes or no, or, but you know what, it's a traction that's happening here with the head. If and when you decide to keep the head still, definitely you're looking through your legs as opposed to looking down at the mat in front of you. You want this sort of heavy bowling ball kind of feel to the head here. You can bend the knees even more, or you can even have your elbows resting onto your thighs as well here. It'll still give you this lovely back stretch, maybe not as strong into the neck and the head, but particularly if you're feeling a little bit sort of clogged up maybe in the nasal passages, or in the sinuses. And then you might even still come back into it. Now remember the stories that sit around yin practice, and they are that we sit here to allow the fascia to unfold, to start to realign itself. Yin practice also is very beneficial in instigating a more intense or a deeper stretch into the muscles, because of the fact that it gets into the connective tissue. So we're really working now into more of the ligaments and the tendons, the deeper layers of the body, not just muscle fiber. So I guess the components of the body that holds us together, not just muscle. Breath is crucial. Slow, smooth, steady, even breath, just like we did in that first part of class, that little bit of pranayama. Yes, it could get a little uncomfortable sitting here. Can we breathe through that element of uncomfortableness? And remember, we talked about when we've done yin as whole classes, it's not unbearable. Okay, this is not unbearable stretching. It's perhaps slightly uncomfortable because the body starts to chat to us and starts to tell us exactly how it's feeling and exactly what's going on. Breathe into it. Let's just take another 2 breaths here. No force, no strain. Now, I'm going to suggest when we come up, bring your hands onto your thighs. Don't rush up. Think of yourself like a rag doll. Stack the vertebrae on top of themselves. Your shoulders will come up before your head comes up. Don't throw your head up, otherwise you are going to get very dizzy on me. Okay. This is Tadasana, standing mountain pose. Set yourself here. Okay. Keep the gaze soft and low. It's like me putting you into Shavasana. Okay. Long, straight. It's a neutral position. We're not doing anything but keeping the body in its own natural formation. Okay. The body's just recalibrating, resetting. Full inhales, long, slow breaths out. Just letting the body soften on that exhale. Do one more, everyone. If you've got a block on your mat, we remove it. Let's get another 2 sun sails out, 2 rounds. Feet under hips. Rise on the inhale. Good. Over on the exhale. Oh, we've just been there. You'll feel that now as you come down. Left steps back. Low lunge. Right leg steps back. Take yourself to plank. Soften the knees, keep the belly and the core tight. Lower the chin, Good. Those arms have to work. Cobra on the breath in. Down dog as you breathe it out. With the left leg leading, bring it back to the front. Look, step. Right leg leads. Then we come to stand. There's your inhale. Back down on the breath out. Right leg starting us. Left leg following. Pull up and into the belly. Good. Knees, chin. Cobra on the breath in. Push up and back, exhaling, down dog. Just unfold and flow with it. Look and step, right leg. Get ready for the left leg to join you. There's the breath in, we're up. Good. One more round, exhale. Left lead. Nice, right leg leads. Core tight, knees on. Triceps. Run those arms by those ribs. Use that to take you down. A little bit of back as we come into cobra. Arms are back into those ribs on the way out of this. We're going to really start to warm up the arms. Look and step left leg. Good. We've got the right leg joining us. Up we lift. Breath in. Good. Last one. Exhale. Fall forward. Down we go. Right leg leading. Good. Get ready for the left leg to lead you. His knees, chin, good smooth transition. Awesome, down dog, go push, press. Right leg sends us to the front of the mat. Look, step, left leg, rise. Here we go again, forward fold. Step the left leg back. Stay here, drop the left knee, and this is crescent. Might need blocks or a prop. Hip flexors get to open here. Alrighty, we hold. I'm the timekeeper. Soften the front of the left thigh in and down towards the mat here. Try not to grip or hold on to the pelvis. It's a softened pelvic floor. We just have to flow with the breath. If you've been joining me with the meditations, this is really, it's a form of meditation. As we sit here, we listen, and we observe. And that's all we are, we're the observer. And we try not to create conversation around it, we just observe. One of the earlier Yin classes, I talked about Bernie Clark, one of the quite well-known Yin teachers, and he talks about that edge, knowing where the edge is of the pose. We can feel it. We can feel that there's a point there where we just know where that boundary is. Okay, so there's again encouraging us not to force, not to strain, but perhaps that edge changes. Maybe it's a little sharp and harsh when we first get into it, but does the edge soften? Does the body release and let go? And do we surrender to the pose, or do we feel like we're still pulling back out of it? I know this is a tough one. I've got my eye on the time for you.
Just allowing the body to get a little more comfortable in it. Breathing softly into the front of the leg. Can we take another 2 breaths here? Now, as we ease out, you'll know how to ease out of this. Okay, so just be careful. Take your time. It is tough. Yes, 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 we know. Step together. Crescent of the moon. Though in Yin, we call it dragon. I'm not sure why. But yeah, it's not called, it's not necessarily called crescent of the moon. Already another side, another story. Though we're not going to enter into the story, are we? We'll just observe. We are just the gatekeeper. That's all we are. Just softening the body, relaxing into it. No force, no strain. Finding where the edge might be. Does it change? Have I got this tendency of wanting to sort of pull out of it, okay, as opposed to just letting my body soften into it? Listening to the conversation that's going on, not necessarily entering into it. Finding that natural rhythm of the breath here. Okay, is the quality of the breath the same as the breath we did in pranayama? So the breath we use in pranayama, we tend to use at the beginning of class, is called samavriti. Same breath, same length. Same length inhale, same length out, exhale, same quality, same smooth, steady, even breath. With no force to the breath. And another 2 breaths here. Remember, ease out slowly. They're quite strong hip flexor stretches. Let's just come to tabletop. It's neutral. Okay, pelvis is in neutral, back's neutral. It's the reset button. Two more breaths here. Then we're ready for down facing dog. Come and step the left foot forward to the front part of the mat. Bring your way up to our starting position. And maybe observe for me, now we're going to come back down again. Oops, she says she takes all that white glove. You come down, left leg steps back. Does it feel any different now? Do these guys feel any different as we work through this? When we've given those legs a really big full opportunity to stretch, you know, those hamstrings stepping through on the left when you're ready. These hip flexors, does the leg come through any easier? Does it feel a little softer? When we come down into that forward fold, or when we step the right leg back into that low lunge, does it feel less jammed up? Does it feel like there's a little more freedom there? I'm going to step that right leg forward through the front. Look and step. Bring the left leg. Here's that forward fold. Back in. We've got one more round together. Go over. How does that feel? How does the left leg feel stepping back? Right leg. Good. Now if you were sitting a little bit today, then these hip flexors are quite well tight and jammed up and restricted. So left leg leads us. They love that full stretch here. One more round, right leg leading us. We are there. Step back. Step back. Belly in tight. Mindful of every movement that you make. Right leg's going to lead us to come forward. Look and step. Rise. Good, come forward, breathe out. Step the left leg back. Now hold it here for me. We're going to go into pigeon walk. The right leg up. Now this is why I suggested that maybe for some, so this left shin runs parallel to the front edge of the mat. This can be tough. So we don't want to force or strain. A couple of options. Bolster. Could sit here underneath the back of this leg. Blocks, pillows. Form, accuracy is crucial here. Right hips being opened. If you feel like you can come through the front, come through the front. But I would rather you be upright and everything more square. Then out the back, twisted and dropped off like this. So think, how can I keep that front shin relatively parallel to this front edge of my mat? I'm just wriggling so I don't collide with my wall out the back. But here I can see, even though I'm not like down on the floor, this shin is parallel, my shoulders are and my hips are. So that's what I call being honest in my pose. As opposed to trying to twist everything. Like this is strong. I can feel this quite strongly in my right hip. I might find that as I allow to sit into it longer that I get to fall more forward, but I'm not going to force myself to be there. I would rather have that authenticity in the pose and the integrity of the pose, knowing that I am really opening up through this right hip now. So this is quite deep into those stabilizing muscles into the pelvis, so that piriformis muscle is definitely one that we're looking at here. Try not to hold any tension in the shoulders as you do this one. Can we really be mindful here of softening everything as we stay here, not softening the hip because that's what we're stretching, but then pull tense and tight through our arms or even our facial muscles. Just allowing ourselves to release into it. Does that edge change? Does it move? Has it gone somewhere? Has it sort of pulled off? It's not so sharp, the edge. Is it a little softer? What can we do here? Sometimes it's just a couple of breaths for the body to go, you know what, it's all right. I'm going to let you go in there now. Nice full breaths. Knowing where you want to soften. What's holding on? What can you let go of? Two more breaths here. Any props can come out from underneath this. My suggestion is to gently roll off any prop that you might have. Bring the legs back around. Revisit the other side. This time we just do the usual step through and forward, walk it, layer it. Bring it on through. Just be the observer. Assess what needs to be done to feel the uncomfortableness of our yin pose, but know that we all have our little boundaries of where that is in this pose. And this is where I guess I feel that something like a yin practice does have elements of meditation into it, because meditation is about us going inward and listening to the body, because when we're quiet, there's sensations that the body has, just like the sensations you're feeling right now. And meditation teaches us to acknowledge that there's a sensation. Perhaps what can we do to soften that sensation, but to not necessarily get caught up in the conversation of it, or any conversation. My pranayama teacher, Judith Hanson-Lasser, she says, no ambition. You have no ambition here. Just let go, just be. Which means that we don't force or strain, we just let the body be where it today wants to be. Again, that also brings us back to that, I guess, the philosophy of meditation, and that being in the present where my body is today. Is me acknowledging right here, the right now. Checking in on any other parts of the body, so that gentle scan of the body that we do is to say, look, you know what, is something else playing havoc here? Is the ankle trying to ask for some attention here? Again, just being, and the idea of just that, importance of being present. Now, as we come out of this one again, find your own way, the way that's very comfortable and there's no force or strain out. Doesn't have to be glamorous, doesn't have to be textbook, but help and support, yeah. tabletop. Just a little neutral set. There's nothing fancy about the pose, it's just bringing us back into to equilibrium. Toes under, push up, press back. How does down dog feel? Bringing our way to the front part of the mat, whichever way you want to step. We have another 2 rounds of our sun sounds. Breath in. Here we go. Exhale, fold. Again, perhaps see how does it feel now. Left leg goes back. Right leg joins. We go to the knees. And then the chin. Slither, control, down dog as we exhale. Ready for the left leg to lead us through. Take the inhale. Then the exhale. Rise, breathing in. Head over, breathing out. Inhale, right leg leads behind. Then your left leg. Down to your knees. Then the chin, come and slither. Down dog as you breathe out. Right leg leads us, look and step. Left joins you, ready for the inhale, we're up. One more round and we're there. Dive over, breathing out. Just go with the flow, left leading you. In your own time, take your time. This should be our last round, right leg leading behind. Right leg will step us forward. Then the left will follow us. Take that breath in. Lift, lift, lift. Finish hands to heart and rest here. Just a couple of long, full breaths here. Just noticing that heartbeat. Softening. And then the arms gradually relaxing down here by our sides. Last yin practice, Shavasana. Bring anything that you wish that will keep you warm, that will prop and support you. Even if that's a little blanket over your body, that is perfectly fine. If it's to return socks back on, or a nice soft pillow underneath the back of the head. Maybe you've got a lavender pillow or an eye pillow. And all the efforts of the energizing component of this class, the yang, the active side, and then the yin now, all comes together here. It's like, that was like the marinade that basted our whole bodies so that we can lie here now and allow it all just to, that marinade just to seep in to the body. Notice the very gentle rise and fall of the chest and the belly. The softness of the breath as it comes in and out through the nose. Body being comforted by the solid floor underneath. And the trust that the body has. Just letting go, knowing that it's going to be fully supported. Just get to notice the nervous system, calming, soothing, settling us. And in stillness, you can feel that marinade seeping in to every cell of the body, relaxing you, bringing content, bringing calm. You might like to start to notice that you can take your awareness that was inwards to being outwards now, hearing more of the noises that might be inside where you are, or even if there's wind or rain or movement outside, noises of cars, they become more obvious to us. Allowing the outside world to come in. And then allow yourself to roll over onto a side of your choice, whatever feels right for you. And when we make our way to sitting, Again, still that same nice, slow, gentle press of the hands. Always keeping that head very, very low. Just keep for those last few moments that deliciousness of Shavasana with us. Let us come to meet with our hands to heart. See that we get to seal this practice and we honour our practice with Namaste. Namaste. Yin Yang, Monday night. Hopefully that was enough to warm you, but enough to relax you as well. It's trying to find that nice equilibrium between work and rest. Is that not life in itself? Finding that happy balance between the two. Enjoy the rest of your evening, those who are with me now, and I will be back, what's tomorrow? Tuesday, for a morning short but sweet in the morning, little 30-minute number. Take care, enjoy your evening, and enjoy the oozing, marinating, seeping in of a little bit of yin into your body too. Namaste.